Man, might as well get it out there, take control of it. That's what Michelle said. They was mad because they didn't know he was middle.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, Brother Jerome Pitcher, who I love, when he got up, he said he want to be right because we got radio people here and we don't want to hear them talking about them on the radio. Right. I turned to a young lady and say, "Who? Me? I never talk about a funeral on the radio." But
oh well. I looked, and I think Debo turned around and looked at me. Was like, he showed right because we will be ribbing on Monday morning.
Sorry, nobody's exempt. We ribbing. Keon's our boy. You know, that's our ride or die.
Right.
Ain't nobody. What DJ say? No passes.
Ain't no passes.
So I was waiting on him. I was filming. I was like, say something crazy.
I was like,
Keith was laughing about the guy who snuck in.
And I was.
But wait, the funny part for me was when he said, they finna find out I wasn't supposed to be up there. He ran up the aisle.
Yeah, dropped the bike and ran up the aisle.
It was good though.
I couldn't hear him, and I was explaining.
He was one of the best.
What happens is when he got the band going, you know, because now they behind him because he preaching. What we get in the pulpit was the monitors. We don't get the house.
Okay.
So I only hear the house when there's nothing coming through the monitors. So I don't know what he was saying. And I looked over to the brother and said, I don't know what he's saying, but he's getting people riled up out there.
Well, I'm just say this, you know, because the funeral went long. The preacher that opened it up, like, prayed for 37 minutes. I was like, come on, dog.
You know what's interesting?
You got a prayer.
We have a clock. Saw the clock, right?
No, I didn't even see the clock.
Yeah, there's a clock right up there.
I know he prayed too long. I was like, come on, fam.
And I thought because once.
No, that wasn't Keith. Keith came on and said his little 4 points to set out.
I got out the way. I've been trained.
You know, he acted like he was about to get tuned up a little bit. It's just he was.
I told Keith Saturday. I think it was Saturday. He came in to record a spot. I said, Keith, I finally saw you in your element. He looked like he was at home in the pulpit. Now he struggles a little bit here.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, like I saw. You know, I just had this visual etched in my mind of him singing his little jam at the church. And he just was holding himself and rocking back and forth.
Oh, man.
He just looks.
I'm a worshiper.
He looks so special.
I'm a worshiper, man. You know what? And I think that this is so African for us. Worship, and I know that for all the deep religious folks, they don't see it. A worship is like a good party. You know, I mean, and I know it's something where you really can feel and you experience that. And so I don't have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem when Flashlight came on, and you know, and I hate to do that because I think that's a false equivalency. But I enjoy good worship. No,
let's be clear, bro.
What? Sis?
Anybody worry about you worshiping? I'm talking about how you look.
That's part of the worship, man.
And then because some people look cool.
If you've been to church, and that was the point I was making. I'm sitting there going,
was this shots?
Wait a minute.
I go to church.
Now, one of us,
I go to church
because he didn't believe I was a Christian. As a matter of fact,
that was funny when you said that.
He gets so frustrated with me. He go, I'd never joined the church where you were pastor. I said, I'd never have you as a member of the church that I'm pastor. Never joined the church, I'm pastor.
Neither.
So when they called me and told me I was reading the Old Testament at Keon Lavelle, Jackson Malone's funeral,
wow.
I had to call back and call Jerome back and say, are you sure this is what you want me to do?
So this is why I say, that's why you need to put your wishes in writing. Because
I'm sure that
was about to get up about that casket. Like,
right.
I know this. Yeah, about to get up about that casket. That's why put your stuff in writing.
Oh, here's the other thing.
Who you want at your funeral.
Don't talk crazy.
Don't talk crazy.
Yeah, don't talk crazy.
What you mean?
Because I used to say to him, he'd be talking crazy to me, and I'm going like, dude, I might be doing your eulogy. You might not want to be talking too crazy to me. Yeah, you don't want to be talking crazy. Just like he was just talking crazy 2 days ago. But I'm going to say this, though, and I don't know if I said this to you Thursday, and it was real. I have done thousands of funerals, either attending or officiating, being a part of. And this was the most difficult viewing I ever had to experience in my whole life.
I didn't view.
That's just how deep it was. It was.
I stayed in the chair. I didn't go up.
But let me. I talked to Miss Carolyn. Oh my God. Oh
his mother.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. That was
with her hat on.
With her hat on, I came over. I said, "Hi, I'm Keith." Oh, I know who you are. And then his goddad said, "Yeah, Keon talk about you all the time," which gets us.
You already know it wasn't favorable,
right? Because there was a young lady who came up after the service. We were standing outside, and she was laughing, and she said, "I got a bone to pick with you." I'm going, "What?" "On your radio program." I'm like, "Oh, what?" So remember when y'all was talking about where you prefer to work if you were enslaved, the house or the field?
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
I told her, I said, "You know what? I know all these free thinking, woke field folks."
Don't put your Black Power fist up. Take it down.
Left hand.
Take it down. Take it down.
But eyes in the house.
House Negro, take it down.
Oh, you call me what you want.
Take it down. Got your Black Power fist up. Like we unified. No, we're not.
I'm yelling
take
from the
down.
big porch. What the temperature out there today, y'all?
From the big porch. You even made Carby laugh at your foolishness.
The big porch.
From the big porch.
On the big porch. But that dude, man, and then here's the other thing. And this is just an observation. There's two things that happen at funerals. One, there's grieving, right? We're there. It's a public grief. And now in our tradition, it's also a celebration of the life.
Right.
People, we don't always know how to process our grieving, and we work through that process, and that's good. That's how it's supposed to be. It's ugly, it's difficult, it's dark. I mean, you go to some dark places. But I think that what we have to understand is when you're putting together that funeral program, less is really more. And I know everybody want to get up and talk. Someone said to me, he said, "You know what they did? At this one, they limited the number of people they had speaking at the funeral, and they set a microphone up at the repast, and you could talk." And a lot of people,
a lot of people I know are doing that.
Yeah, you can talk at the
repast. Yeah,
because what happens is.
Because there's nothing that's actually going on at the repast other than dinner,
right?
Just eating. So that's a great time to be able to do it. But no, folks want that 5 minutes too in the church in front of everybody. Because my mother used to say, they still want their 5 minutes of fame. I'm like, Ma. She was like, I'm just saying.
Your mama was like my mama.
You don't want to do it at the repast.
And speaking of my mama,
90
Saturday.
All right.
That's amazing.
Oh man, it's amazing, man. I went over because my mom is recuperating, so she's over with Francine, and my mother said, I never thought I'd see 90. The crazy thing was we had a little celebration yesterday. My sister, and there were.
Keep going.
4 90-year-olds there.
Really?
At least 4. And I mean, one of them is still driving. But that was really to see that.
Is longevity in your family?
I'm hoping.
I mean, no.
My grandmother was 93.
Okay.
And my grandmother took a turn for the worse. My grandmother was in a fire, and when she was in her 80s. And so she had skin grafts. So a lot of that just brought on some stuff. But yeah, usually they live pretty long. But then you walk out and get hit by a car. So, but no, I mean, and my mother looks well.
Miss Cliffy looked amazing.
Looks very well. I mean, it's so I'm blessed. I said, when I put on Facebook, Mama's not on Facebook. And thank you for all the folks who responded. But I also knew for some folks it was also bittersweet because their moms weren't there. And so
like I literally had a conversation with one of my friends, Latoya Sykes. She was preparing to bury her mom. Mm-hmm. They just took her back to Mississippi and buried her interred her on Friday. And I said, like, of our clique, only one of us still has our mother. Of all of us that ran together when we all first met. We all knew each other's mothers. Everybody's mothers hung out. We called everybody's mother mom. Mm-hmm. And now there's only one mom still left, and that's Lakeisha's mom. So that's crazy.
Yeah, and just folks growing up. So see my family. So shout out to my nephew Brandon, who's in town. He serves in the United States Air Force, and my niece Amaris, who's in town from Memphis. So all of Francine's kids were here, and so it was. But yeah, I celebrate now. You know, part of the story was I was in my mom's hospital room when I got your call about Keon.
Right.
And that's why I selected that first reading, because I knew where I was. I felt just like Job. Man, I just like, wow, this just hit me. I wasn't prepared for that. But we're not. I mean, anytime you get that call, you never prepare. I don't know. Now, people have been dealing with like long-term chronic, a little bit prepared, but even then, and there's still not closure. I thought there would be after the service, but there really isn't. So,
if I pick up the phone and call him one more time,
yeah, to
I'm
be
like,
able to, and something happened, and my first thought was, damn, I need to text Kia. It was just like being able to do that. You never know the impact that you have on lives and how it sounds trite, but it's true. We're living our eulogies. We really are. And then the impact. And, I'll go out on a limb on this. I don't think he even realized the level of impact he had. I don't. And maybe you don't in real time. But
and just a cross section of people. I mean, from jail to the state house, like the cross section of people was so crazy. If Ray Mendoza had said "ghetto bastard" one more time in church, I was cracking up.
And it wasn't just at church; it was at an Assembly of God church.
He was like, "Yeah, you going to hell." Somebody said, I was laughing. I said, "Okay, Ray, be you." That was funny, I was laughing.
That was just like.
But I appreciate it though, because when Harvey got up, he said, "Hey, everybody wasn't always saved." And everybody,
that was the guy talking about when they talk about God smoking weed.
Yeah.
And no, he just.
But I thought it was just a good blanket across the board, even though, when the guy referenced that Keon had smoked weed, and it's like, don't get up here and start lying now. Turning, because people love turning folks into saints, and that like, hey, it is what it is. So that part was funny.
So it sounded like some folks was smoking.
What'd you say? Sounded like. Sounded like.
So y'all didn't hear this from me, but y'all know about the red cups, right?
What red cups?
We'll tell you off the mic.
It was the red cups at the funeral.
We're finna go to break. We'll tell you what during break.
Well, let me just say, if it was the red cups at the funeral. Oh, at the church, at the cemetery, or at the repast. All I'm gonna say is that whatever. I'm just gonna say this: Keon would have approved. I'm just letting you know right now. That's shiesty Negro. He would have approved.
And based on what Devo told me, that based on the venue, I was going, well, he do have a club. If y'all
step on over.
You want to go over? Y'all
but there. You know what? Tupac just say, pour out a little liquor for your boys. I mean, what? Don't pour it out.
I ain't not for the. They said for the brothers who's not here. If you didn't show up, I ain't wasting no liquor pouring on you.
For the brothers that's not here means you dead, kid.
Oh, those brothers.
I can't show up. What are you talking about?
Oh, you mean him?
You said something. You said something this morning though. You said you were talking about just the violence over the weekend, and you said, yep, we had a fatal shooting. And he died.
Did I?
So that's usually what happens with fatal shootings. He was blind and he couldn't see.
All right, that's enough.
I got some more.
We gotta go to break.
You sure?
We'll be right back, folks.
I was deaf and I couldn't hear him.
He was deaf and he could not hear.
That boy was lame and he couldn't walk.
That's right.
Dumb and couldn't talk. You listen to the voice of the All right, welcome back to Community Voice. Phone lines are open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. I told people I signed up, SIGNED for radio. And I was talking to a brother. He said, yeah, man, I watch you every day. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm doing TV, man. I am not really, I'm adjusting to, and thank you for the folks that listen. And certainly those folks who listen every day. Thank you. I'm a little embarrassed when people say, I listen to you every day. And I want, oh man. So that just no pressure, right? So the fact that people are listening and I appreciate that. And let me thank the staff and management here at WNOV. Strong representation at Keon's celebration, and so appreciate everybody. Very difficult for us, very very difficult. But to see the folks there and my third reading was taken from Micah 6 and 8. And I wanted people to know that even now the work continues. So the work of the Village Group continues. The work of Wisconsin Voices continue. And so the work continues. And this should be inspiration for folks who he understood the importance of that community work and to be a part of that. So really appreciate that. I didn't get a chance to tell Michelle she had on a tough little hat, didn't she? That black hat.
She can fix up pretty good, man.
Yeah, man. She can. We were at what was it? I think it was probably NAACP Freedom Fund dinner. Michelle came in all gussied up. I go like who that?
Gussied up.
Oh, she was gussied up. Yeah, she was gussied. She was gussied up. Yeah. So
a couple different things, man. I'll be like, damn, who was that? It's a cutie. Oh, that's Michelle.
Hey Michelle, I was
just Michelle.
Kwaku was talking about, how he got back at hit with the news about Keon, and he was talking about, he said, I found out, man, I think my cousin and Antonio Freeman.
Antonio Freeman.
I'm going, so we talking. I said, yeah, man, me and Michelle had a blast with Antonio Freeman. He said, no, not that Antonio Freeman. We had a good time with Antonio Freeman. Oh my God. He was only supposed to be 15 minutes? Turned out to be an hour because Michelle jumped in. Can we y'all talk about football? Can we get back to, I don't know what
was it real estate? Because he owned a bunch of property or something, wasn't it? Real estate or something? Because I know it was a business.
And he has a very interesting background because just the school that he went to in Baltimore, that's the equivalent of our Golda Meir High School or Ronald Reagan or Rufus King.
She was up there fanboying.
Oh man, I'm a big fanboy. Because Antonio, what's that? Man?
Did you say thank you on the air? Did we say thank you?
We didn't. I was.
What is this?
It's a rub, my special rub.
Oh,
that I didn't make. It actually, it's not my special rub.
I was like, what?
Come on, man. We doing false advertising.
My guy, Big T.
Big T. He can cook.
He dropped those by totally, wanted to make certain that Michelle and Keith got one.
Well, thank you.
He has promised.
It smells so good.
He has promised brisket and
like weed in here
ribs on next week.
Infused?
It smells like it's some hip.
My guy calls from Arizona. He does infusion.
Oh, DJ Keith?
Yeah.
Keith Trotter? Yeah.
His name Keith too?
Yeah.
That's a great name. I took Kennedy with me to get my mom's birthday, pick it up on we went to pick it out on Thursday.
Okay.
Wouldn't pick it out. And at National Bakery, and I know there's other bakeries that do that, they do cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, Kennedy, you want a cookie? And so the first cookie she picked was a we call them the controllers for video games.
Yeah.
Because she plays with her dad, right? So she got that. And then they had Kamala Harris and Donald Trump
I got
cookies.
a picture of that.
And so she took the Kamala Harris, and what they do is it's like an unofficial poll based on who's buying the cookies. So yeah, she does have a Kamala Harris.
I saw the picture of that.
She's engaged, man. I mean, I know her.
Do you eat that cookie though, or would it be a souvenir?
I think it'd probably be a souvenir. I don't know what she did with
I'm eating that cookie.
You eat it?
I'm eating that cookie.
It's a cookie, man.
What we talking about here?
But look, I love this. So this is this week's Milwaukee Courier. And you got Kamala Harris in the banner in the head of the paper and Keon.
Yeah,
like,
that's beautiful.
Do you know what he would say if he saw his picture opposite Kamala Harris?
Dollar Brazil?
in the paper.
He's gifted and talented.
I'm gifted and talented.
I heard you say that at the funeral too.
I called him the GTO, but then when Michelle was reading the obituary, she gets to when he's at Golda by Year, the gifted and talented school. She said, Keith.
Yeah, I heard that.
I mean, look at that though. That is amazing.
It is. It's beautiful.
His face is in his. That's crazy. I love. Like he would have a fit if he saw this. His face in the banner with Kamala Harris's face of the head of a paper. He would have a fit. This was a wonderful. I love that. I love that.
Wow, really?
And he actually looked like he fine on here too.
Yeah.
And then you meet him. But I have to save this. This is amazing.
Yeah,
What?
I'm not a troublemaker.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm
What
not.
else is new?
As I'm sitting here looking all.
Oh, let me say this though before I go. So we're at the graveside, and one of Keon's cousins, family, young sister walks up next to me. She was like, "Hi." I was like, "Hello." I was talking to her. So she was like, we got a question. And so I was like, okay. So she kept hearing it hard. And you was telling she was having trouble trying to formulate the question. And I said, "You want to know if Keon and I dated?" She was like, "Yes." I said, "Under no circumstances."
You're such a player. You really are a player. Because at the resource fair, somebody came up and go like, "I thought Keith and Michelle was married."
Like, why? Why would you think that?
Because the way we argue.
Because you talk crazy to me.
No,
and that's what
and you talk crazy to me.
And Debo talks crazy, like to everybody. I'm just saying. But it was so funny to me. But I knew that was the question. And she just was like, I said, "You want to know if we ever dated?" She was like,
just help her out.
Yeah. I said, "Under no circumstances." It was something wrong with him. Under no circumstances. I said, and he's significantly younger than me. Not that that matters, but under no circumstances.
He's not significantly younger.
He was significant enough.
About 20 years, wasn't it?
20 years.
No.
You just turned
60. You just turned 60.
I don't need you telling all my business.
He was 47.
You just turned 60?
Oh my God. Like, seriously?
Woman, you don't look a day over 59.
Michelle, you said it on the air. Come on.
You sure did.
That's for me to say.
On the air publicly, you didn't say it privately?
No. The devil over there just wants to say it. He just wants
I can't. I ain't got nothing to hang my hat on. I am I'm 40. 40 nothing.
40.
And you get it out right?
Oh, I like.
I'm 57 though. I'm 57.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all.
When Bishop Harvey, I like what he said. I just need 5 minutes. Can I get 5 minutes?
That part
From you?
Yeah.
Can I get 5 minutes?
Yeah.
By the time you messed around, you'd have gave him 2 hours to talk. I thought that was
I have always loved not just his preaching style, but his substance. And I just thought, and it was 20 minutes, which is what should happen. And look, all these people, everybody else.
The prayer was longer than 20 minutes.
the prayer.
The opening prayer was longer than 20 minutes.
And I kept hoping, don't use any of the scriptures that I have selected.
That's what you worry about.
And then I had to
like
do,
somebody sang before you, and they get up and sang the song.
Say the song you gonna do.
Oh, speaking of singing, Jermaine Rideout.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And his rendition of A Change Is
Oh,
Gonna
let's
Come.
talk about Tony Neal.
Tony Neal.
Oh boy,
Tony Neal.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Bruh's got it in. What's her name?
Miss Washington. She back, or she just came in?
I don't know. What's her first name?
Oh, I can't think of her first name.
Jennifer.
Yes, I don't know, but
she was good.
Yeah.
She was.
Because I was sitting there thinking about like what songs I would want. It's not ridiculous how when you go to a funeral you think about like what would I do at my funeral? What would I want done at my funeral?
Well, let me.
Glad you fixed that up.
Dion,
what would I do at my funeral?
Well, I'm just saying because I'm a planet. He said,
maybe be dead.
Before I'm dead, what will be playing?
Go back to that.
Thank you very much.
It was a fatal shooting. And do you know he died?
Breaking news.
What would I do at my funeral?
I'm saying
I'll probably just lay there.
Yeah, that's probably what she gonna do too.
It's not. I will have directed all of.
Do you have this superstition? Because it really is superstition. That you come in and the person like pop up. Always,
Keith.
I do. This is always in the back of my mind. It could happen.
No,
it could happen.
Well, it actually did happen
in the funeral home.
Somebody they thought was deceased, in fact, was not deceased. But it led to all these other questions, though, because like embalming and all that stuff should have taken place by the time we get to the how is this possible? But yeah, somebody they thought was deceased.
Some people now
was not deceased.
You see a real movement to natural burials where they're not being embalmed. Neil.
That's a timeline thing, then, isn't it? Do you have to do that?
Well, Jewish people don't get embalmed because they're buried within 24 hours. Muslim people are buried within 24 hours.
No, they're 72, I believe.
No, it's as soon as possible. It is because it's Semitic, and it really depends. If you have a situation where you got to hold the body out, but usually, if you see,
like a friend of mine who practiced the Muslim faith,
right,
Black Muslims,
right,
around here.
It's a difference,
and maybe there is. That's why I wanted to be certain.
It's a difference.
But he had to be buried within 72 hours.
Within 72 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, but you will find that in most instances, for Jewish people, it is no more than 48 hours, unless there are other circumstances that prevents the burial. And probably that a lot of that tradition goes back to trying to get that person in the ground as quickly as possible to stop disease. That's why we bury, just so people know why we bury people, or if you're in India, why they burn people, is that you can't let dead bodies stay around. I mean, there's all the biohazards that go along with that. So get them in the ground as quickly as possible. Now, if you're descendants of enslaved Africans, now we got to wait to Tukey. Now, when he going to get in? Tukey get in. So, and then COVID was really strange because if you died of COVID, it had to be at least 14 days before you could be buried.
But I mean, even historically, we have
what
buried
was the purpose
later.
of that? Not to
in the African culture, we buried.
James
later.
Brown wasn't buried for almost 2 months.
But I'm talking
6
about
months.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm talking about the continent. We bury later. We don't bury right away.
Right. Well, because some people have, like, if you look at monks, I think it's like 7 days of that mourning period that they go through.
Well, let me just say, I'm glad that we moved beyond the when the body used to stay at the house.
Lord. You're gonna come sit with go there
and have to sit.
Yeah, I'm glad that tradition.
And it's funny. There's a Mexican woman I worked with. She's Chicano, and it was my uncle's funeral, and it was just a visitation. And so she was like, "Y'all don't have anybody here?
To sit with the body.
Sit with the body and cry." I said, "What?"
Well, we didn't have to cry, but it was a requirement that somebody sat.
If you were a kid, that had to be.
And like, I want to say up until I was probably a sophomore in high school, when people died, their body was at the house.
At the house, right. And you would see, like, certainly among the
Down
Irish,
south.
the wakes where it's actually there. I think it's just more convenient to have it at the funeral home now. And I think that's one of the things as we really expanded that.
I wonder is that even legal anymore, though?
I'm sure you can have it. Well,
Yeah.
you can have it any place you want to have it.
Had a body at the house.
Yeah. I don't know if it But I wonder, do you need a special permit?
That's what I'm saying. I wonder, like,
Well,
what's
not
the
to be
legalities
buried on your property.
Oh no, you can't do that. There's zoning and all kinds of stuff that comes into play with that.
Because for a long time, cemeteries.
No, but we talking about. Well, I guess it depends on where.
Down south, they have funerals on Sunday.
See,
and we got people buried on property.
But you remember
my grandparents
here when they had that whole piece with Evergreen, and they were talking about that back lot that's supposed to have been baby land was never even permitted. It wasn't zoned even to be bodies being buried back there. So I mean, maybe it's from state to state, but certainly you can't bury yourself in your backyard.
Well, I know
in Milwaukee.
One of the interesting pieces.
I was gonna say, come down.
It used to be you couldn't be buried on Saturdays.
Well,
now you can be buried on Saturdays here.
You couldn't be buried.
You couldn't be buried on Saturdays.
Why? Because nobody wanted to.
The cemeteries. They were the only exception would be.
But they're not buried on Sundays either.
If you're Jewish, you can be buried on Sunday.
Well,
because it's within that 24-hour period for religious. Now, I don't know what they charge, and then that's why they have, and there still are Jewish cemeteries. You know where over here you have Union, and then right where
I'm told Union is no longer Union.
Okay, it's owned by the same people that own Graceland.
That's what they're saying. It's called Graceland.
So you have right there where that senior housing center is right there.
Okay.
Is that Burleigh, whatever comes around? That used to be the Jewish cemetery.
Oh, that little cemetery right on the corner there.
Right, Hopkins, it was right there on the corner, and that was the Jewish cemetery. And they just have a marker there. They removed the bodies, but they have a marker there identifying it.
That's Calvary Gardens or something like that, isn't
yes.
it? Yeah.
And
so what they do? Take them all and move them?
Yeah, they exhumed the bodies, moved them, and then there's a marker there. I didn't know that the
court. Why they moved the bodies
to another cemetery because I guess they bought it.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Funerals are
now. What was there where Calvary is now? Was that always a church?
I think there was houses. All right. See you later, Michelle.
See you later, fellas.
All right.
Have a good show.
Have a great one.
Hey, Michelle. Be safe out there.
Wow.
You can't love her, man.
You can't.
She make it so hard to love her.
I called to check on her this morning. I said, Michelle, those people didn't get you, did they? What did she call me? A worry and something she called me. It's just terrible, man. You can't. You said it best.
You know what? Juanita Bynum's ex-husband, so frustrated with her, he got mad. He said, "Well, then teach me how to love you." Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Listen, I just want to say to you guys.
You got to get a new phone or something.
I don't know who organized
we can't hear you.
Funeral, the viewing, and the funeral, and so forth. I didn't get to stay because I had to be there with a very dear friend of mine over 40 years. Her husband funeral was that day. But I'm talking about how the pictures and all his accolades, it was just awesome. And I'm telling you, he looked like he could have got up and walked out of that casket. Pitts did an awesome job. And what a recognition to a young man that devoted so much time to the community. And I pray that the Man Show that had all those awesome guys on talking, I pray that you, some kind of way, get them together and stay together to make the difference that we need.
Yeah, it
is so critical. And we keep talking about Black Lives Matter. I just get sick every morning. I get up and have to hear how many people have been killed. Over what? A real man knows how to communicate what's wrong. A gun doesn't make you bad. It makes you very weak because you know no other way to solve your problem.
But
Thank you for allowing me to say that.
But isn't that
get out and vote?
Isn't that human beings have always had a difficult time resolving conflict? For those people who read the Bible, you know that the first homicide in the Bible was actually a brother killing another brother. Our inability to be, and I agree with what you're saying in terms of it is a poor way to settle disputes. But if you look at it, nations settle disputes that way. It's violence. And I don't know where I was, and I was hearing someone talk about peace. And I kept, it came up in Sunday school, this idea of peace. And I don't know if you can have peace without justice, because the definition of peace is the absence of conflict. And we live in a world where, there's human beings, and if human beings get along with each other,
you know something, Keith.
But then that means that they won't get along with each other. So
my thing is this: in our home, the reason why we're having so many problems in our nation is because we have dysfunctional homes.
We've always had dysfunctional homes.
Nation.
But we've always had dysfunctional homes.
Say that again.
We've always had dysfunctional homes. Dysfunctional homes is not new.
Okay, so where do we stop and start doing something?
I think
Where do we stop saying it's always this?
What I'm saying is that we will go. I guess I'm one of these people who go that there's nothing new under the sun. It might appear different, but it's still the same thing. It could be taken in context of time, taken in all these other things. I'll never forget this guy from the Clark Foundation many, many years ago. I was joking with my mom. I had taken the ACE, that's the, Adverse Childhood Experience test that they give folks who are dealing with trauma. And so I was going and said that there was only one box I could check on there, which was I was a product of divorce. But then when you begin to look, and I think I'm hearing people talk about families and what we think families should look like, the whole thing with J.D. Vance and his whole concept of family and what that looks like. But there's a lot of people. But this idea of the so-called American nuclear family, 2 parents, 2 kids, a dog, and a fence.
That's so old. That has.
But it's always been a myth, because that's not what families ever look like. Families are. It could be a combination of things. And then even when you get back into ancient times where people practice polygamy, and it was really about your birthright was tied to your father, that world has changed, but there are dysfunctions in families. It just happens. And what he said was, look, most families operate at least a third of the time with a certain level of dysfunction. Hopefully we can recognize that. Think about you if you're a grandparent, how good a parent you are as a grandparent compared to what you were when you were just a parent, right?
Right.
Because you had that lived experience. You understood some things. And so now, and then the other thing is your grandkids go home. So,
there you go.
But so what I'm saying, so I understand that, I think, but I'm really trying to expand my my conception of what family is.
See, number one, I have to appreciate and respect people's choices. And that's what life is all about, respecting people's choices. And I'm just hoping that people do the research. We had a family reunion on Saturday out at Hart Park.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful park. The serenity of that whole atmosphere was just so nice. And we could do the same thing in our community. I don't understand why we have to do the things that we do. And I'm going to tell you another thing. With all these different shootings and nobody sees anything, we better be very careful who's doing the shooting. Okay?
Yeah, but
we better start doing, men, you want to be so important? Walk your block at night and make sure it's safe. Make sure that the seniors on your block aren't being run over by the little hoodlum kids that their parents just think everything they do is cute until they curse them out in front of the people on the block. So we need to start making a difference and a change.
But here's the frustration, at Keon's funeral, there were a lot of violence interrupters there. 411 Life was there, and you have people out who do the work, but unfortunately it could break out anywhere. And sometimes in the best of situations, here's the other thing about homicides. In most instances, the people know, they know each other. They have some level of relationship. Now you have that whole other group where, people coming in doing mass shootings. But what I'm saying in terms of the day to day, people are, each other. And again, it's our inability to to resolve conflict. And then when you look at the pressures that are on poor families, because not only are they dealing with just your whole human thing, you're dealing with Maslow now, Maslow being those higher needs, making sure you have food, clothing, shelter. Those immediate needs are met. So it's a lot of pressure. But here's the thing. Perception is people's reality. No one wants to accept that the homicide rate is dropping and dropping precipitously compared to where it was last year.
Every time we get up, some people are just being shot, but some are actually dying. So how could you tell me? Maybe it wasn't as many as it was last year. But if we wait till the end of the year, I'm just hoping it's down. And I'm praying that we start making a difference and start respecting each other, because we need to.
Well, I think the other piece of it is also just the number. We live in a big city, and so naturally we're going to have more homicides just because we have, more people. But even in places like New York, everybody saw an increase in homicides, COVID and post-COVID. We saw, for whatever reasons, we would have thought people locked down, there wouldn't be that much interaction, but there was still interaction, people still dying. Right. But, and again, I don't know, am I sounding like I'm being accepting that I think it's okay? I don't think it's okay.
It seems like we're just buying into it and
because how much control do I have over it? I guess that's my frustration.
I guess my control is this. Talk to your nieces, nephews, and friends. And then another thing I have to respect about you and your wife and so many other people and so many of my friends that don't have any children. They have a host of godchildren.
Oh, yeah.
They have a host of nieces and nephews that they reach in and make a difference in their brothers and sisters' lives. And sometimes later down the road, when those kids come in from college or come in from the service to visit, guess where they stop first? At their godparents and the people that have really made sacrifices in their life. And then they make the call. Never, kids, when you're in that situation, make the call from the other home.
And that's what makes J.D. Vance so tone deaf. And I understand he's from the school of, never apologize, stand by what you stand by. But you at some point, you just have to realize what you said was offensive. It's offensive to my wife, right? Who decided not to have children. It wasn't a situation. What about the women who cannot have children?
Right.
And then the other piece of it is this expectation that women better make sure they have kids. Now, I understand we can't have too many not having kids. Because
you noticed you saw his wife the one time. Now, this is an intelligent woman that took leave from her law firm, to work with him. I haven't heard her say anything else. And she's a foreigner.
Michelle Obama did the same thing. No, she's not a foreigner. Her parents are. She was born here.
Wait just a minute. You know something? Keith, his wife is from another country.
I thought she was born here. Her parents were from another country.
I'm looking at her. Her ethnicity shows all over.
Right.
She still is representative of even though she's an American, educated, she respects her culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And everybody is thinking, oh boy, these wives, they must be real stupos if they just letting their husband lead them around like they some kind of dummy.
Well, what's fascinating to me, and here's the double standard. And I did this, and I'm guilty of it, so I'm going to be transparent. I know women who are involved, elected officials, right? Mm-hmm. My first question is, where are the kids? When I see male elected officials, that is not the first question I have. Like, where are your kids? Right. We say to women, here is your role. And then women then have to not only do this thing where they're, in many instances, the primary caregiver, right? They still have their own ambitions and their own things that they want to, aspirations that they want to see happen in their lives. And so it becomes one of those things where, and it's slowly moving. I mean, it's slowly shifting in terms of our attitude towards women.
You know something? I think men are jealous. I think they're jealous of how women can organize, how they can handle doing many roles, making sure you're happy, the house is happy, and everything is running along fine. And then they turn around and wonder, how does all that happen? Because of that woman that you had. That
Well,
you should be giving her all the credit in the world.
I said this.
Anyway, thank you for allowing me to speak. And you guys have a great day and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I was saying this yesterday at my mom's birthday celebration. I push back. I work with fathers, right? And I hear these dudes, oh man, it take a man. Take a man to raise a boy into a man. Wrong. It helps. It takes a parent to feed into that child, whether it's male or female. That's what it is. No, your mama can't teach you how to play baseball. That's what we have little league coaches for, right? But that ain't what makes you a man anyway. So, the values that my mother put into us in terms of responsibility, and I was telling them that I grew up in a home, y'all don't know, we talking blacker than black. Okay, want me to call or do the break? I'm gonna do the call. All right, caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Keith. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing. Did you guys talk about the obituary?
Yeah, Michelle wanted a copy, but she has one. Someone just texted her and told her they have a copy for her.
Well, I was just saying how beautiful it was in regards to no spelling mistakes, the chronological order. I thought that was a really good job.
You proofed it?
Well, I listened to you and you talked about only having one picture in yours. So now every funeral I go to, I'm looking at them and trying to see what I
the collage. But let me say this. You're right. Now, the collage with him, at least he was in most of the pictures.
Right.
You be going to these other collages, and the person that died, they ain't in a picture. You got everybody in the picture, on the collage. But now he was in just about every picture. So
he was in every picture, and they were big enough for us to see, him actually. And then my other comment was, you guys are mentioning time. We stood up for like 30 to 45 minutes waiting for the family to march in.
It was 21 minutes.
I believe
it was 21 minutes.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Because see, one of the great things at Park Lawn Church, at Embassy, one of the great things if you go to Christ the King is that there's a clock facing the pulpit. You're on a timer. And so I could see, so as they're coming in, they started at 11, and the last person to come through came through at 11:21. So we'd already lost 21 minutes. And no disrespect to the folks, I didn't realize his family was that big.
Me neither.
Because that family got big.
I don't think all of them was his kin.
I don't think it
I
either.
don't think
It's like the Juneteenth parade. It's like the Juneteenth parade.
Did it ever go in? Because I kept looking back, I'm like, that got to be the last wave of them. Here come 30 more. Wait a minute now.
I'm watching them come around the corner, and then it was something. I'm trying to think who was the last person, and I'm going, man,
they jumped in at the last.
Oh man, I don't know if that's how they got into church, but it was just like because I was in the we staged in the cafeteria.
They run out of room on one side.
Right, we staged in the cafeteria. And so there was, family. You knew these folks were family, very, very close friends. But you're right. It was 21 minutes. I was timing everybody. I timed myself, so I'm getting up going because I want to be appropriate. Thank you, Bishop Sedgwick Daniels.
Yeah. I appreciated how he had Pastor Harvey do the eulogy. I said he must have meant something to everybody because, that says a lot who you have eulogized over you. And for him to do that and bring up the Will Smith examples and just keep everybody engaged, it was a beautiful ceremony.
Especially after they sat there for 2 hours.
Yes.
No, that is tough. But I understand. I say it all the time. Homegoing celebrations are for the living. Okay, but it's not about the living. And you know what I mean? I mean, sometimes we get into ourselves and our thing. We don't realize this is a we thing, and we should be mindful. And that whole time thing is just very, and maybe because we do radio, we know we have to But no, I just kept going in my mind, making sure, dude, you're not up here more than 3 minutes, because but that prayer was a little long. That prayer was a little long. I was going like, whoa, dude.
I read the obituary. I said, Tony Neal, we about to have a DJ in a church.
Wow.
But then it wasn't really Tony Neal.
No, it was really Tony Neal.
It really was.
It really was Tony
That was
Neal.
Tony Neal.
That's Tony Neal. You know what? And I've known Tony Neal since he's been like 11, right? And so when I heard the DJ, that's the first reaction I had. Oh man, Tony's not singing anymore. He's a DJ. No, he's a different person, and I don't know, but it was to see those folks, but I don't know where all those people came from. I have no clue. All right, you're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Standing up for everyday Americans is at the very foundation of who Kamala Harris is. Raised in a middle-class home by a working mother who instilled in her a passion for justice and equality. That's why when Kamala Harris became district attorney, she stood up for our kids, keeping them safe by prosecuting sex offenders. She also pioneered a program to give nonviolent drug offenders a second chance. As president, Kamala Harris will continue the fight for everyday Americans. She's already lowered the cost of your health insurance and medications. Insulin is now capped at $35 for seniors. But there's more to do because mortgages, rents, groceries, and utility bills are still too high. Harris's plan to fix it? Build more homes to lower prices and make the wealthy and billionaires pay their fair share so we get a break. All her life, Kamala Harris has been standing up for us, and she doesn't plan to stop anytime soon.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for president.
Get your tickets now to the Milwaukee Gala that empowers communities and changes lives. Join us at the new rooftop ballroom of the Baird Center for Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Black and White Ball, celebrating 105, legacy and impact. It's all happening on Saturday, November 2nd, with entertainment by Shantae Moore. This event sells out. Get your ticket and sponsorship information now at tmul.org and click Black and White Ball link.
Milwaukee. Hello, Milwaukee. Can you tell me why did
Miss Stacey Abrams?
This is she. I am very excited to be talking to you.
Mr. Trey Baker.
First and foremost, I say it's a personal thing. Quit tripping. Go vote.
Mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot.
I am with you. Good morning.
choose WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM to talk to you? They knew that WNOV is the voice of the Milwaukee community. But did you also know that
Carol Mosley.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
The Honorable Congressman G.K. Butterfield.
WNOV, thank you for your sensitivity and your willingness to educate our community.
Donna Brazile.
wanted to get their message to you, and they knew WNOV was the only station to use to get to the Milwaukee community.
Political parties are vehicles. You can choose to drive them or you can choose to walk. But you better not get on the road and don't know where you're going. We're not asking anybody to get away from the table. Just give me a chair so I can sit.
So what are you waiting for?
Listen, everybody. Listen up good now. Listen, everybody. Listen up good
Wisconsin's #1 voice, WNOV.
pronounce the name for me? All right, welcome back to Community. Let me do it.
Hi, welcome back.
Hi, welcome back. That's Mickey Mouse. Hi, boys and girls. All right, now welcome back.
That's better.
All
That's
right,
much
welcome
better.
back to Community Voice, and we're joined in the studio by Mr. Jezreel. I knew I was going to do it. Do it for me, man. Jezreel Jones.
Jezreel Jones.
Jezreel Jones. Yes. Yes.
And he's the owner and operator of Culvers, the Culvers in Midtown.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long you been doing that?
I've been in the business for about 20 years,
Okay.
restaurant business.
How long you been at the Culvers?
It's been since last year.
Okay.
Last August.
Okay.
Me and my business partner.
Okay. What made you want that franchise? What did you find attractive?
I found it attractive to be able to connect with the people in the community as well as provide a great service, because a lot of times with inner city restaurants, a lot of people think, oh, well, it has to be ghetto. The customer service has to be horrible, but we try to keep that standard up top and still offer people the best product possible and give them the same quality that they would get, in Waukesha and Glendale, East Capitol, So we have to tweak some things, but at the same time, that's with any business, you have to adapt to the business. So
so you talk about that, and I just went and did a little research on Culvers and how it was started by was it a husband and wife, and then mom and dad,
Craig and Lee.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and how it started off in little Sauk, Wisconsin, Saukville, out west, but the 1984, right? I'm thinking
Yes,
about
yes.
1984, which is fascinating to me because the whole idea of custard. This is not an ice cream stand; it's custard, and so in Wisconsin, custard is big.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Are you originally from Wisconsin? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Originally from Wisconsin.
So because as a matter of fact, we were talking yesterday, and we were having our memories back in the day. And we used to talk about going to Pig and Whistle, which is
I don't think I was around for that.
You could have been a little guy, but custard.
Okay.
And I would have folks who would come in from out of town, and the first thing they wanted was custard, not ice cream. So that's how it started off. Basically, it's a custard hamburger stand.
Custard and hamburger stand. Yep. It started off from custard hamburger stand.
You all really disappointed me, man. You removed.
Let me guess, the chicken.
Dude. Oh my God, the fried chicken was incredible.
Yeah, it was the best in the city, in my opinion.
In the city. Maybe some people go argue with you, man.
They can argue, but
Tompkins might argue with you. But no, it was very and again, it was interesting because talk about that in terms of you own other franchises. Have you done this, or this is first franchise you ever
First
owned?
one. This is the first one.
But you would have where McDonald's took a real killing when they introduced their chicken wings.
Yes.
But their chicken wings were great.
Yeah, they were good.
But people don't go to McDonald's, for chicken wings. It was real interesting. And that's the thing I found amazing. So when you look at your menu, that becomes important because of locally what the taste might be, right?
Correct. What the demographics are. So I can speak on chicken. Chicken may do good in certain areas,
right?
But when you go from a whole, it wouldn't be as good.
Right.
So you got some people losing money on chicken versus some people making a killing on it.
And then it becomes.
Then it goes to the logistics of things, and
Right, and then are we going to take up space for something in an area? But the fried chicken was funny because my buddy, and I'm very particular about fried chicken because it's our national bird. And so my buddy was like, yeah, man, we'll go to Culvers and get some fried chicken. Culvers? What, they sell custard, man? What do you mean fried chicken? That fried chicken, man, oh my God. But you're right. It really does depend on on that in terms of that. And then you all do, is that a smash burger? Basically, you all are doing?
It's kind of a smash burger,
right?
The pub burgers.
Yeah, but no, the smash burger is when you
yes.
So Culvers was doing, that was your whole thing, right?
Exactly.
And now that's a thing, man. Just smash burgers.
Smash burgers.
Yeah.
Because everybody went away from the pre-cooked patties,
right?
Warm them up,
right?
Or throw them on the grill. But now it's like making it at home. So
how your what would you call it? Not your business, but your flow. How are you able to basically, when people are coming there, because it could be like, say, I'm coming to a drive-through, if it's not crowded, it could be 10 minutes. That's actually pretty good if people are making the burgers, but it's even less than that sometimes, right?
Yes, it's less than that. So what a lot of people don't know is once you start ordering your food, it's already sent to the kitchen.
Okay.
As they're punching it in,
okay,
the kitchen is seeing it. And that's one of those things where we're trying to keep up because we understand it, especially since COVID.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, they want it quick. That's why the DoorDash and the Uber Eats took off really big. So,
and then, and maybe because they just put everything into fast food.
Exactly.
But you all is you still, the culture is, but it's still a neighborhood establishment.
Yes.
Right.
It's family restaurant.
And you get the food rather quickly because it's, just more efficient to do it that way, right?
And when business is consistent, then you're able to, know the flow of the product.
Okay.
And then we can, with proper staffing, proper product, making sure it's fresh. It's a small threshold, with our neighborhood and our customer base where it can't be too cold. It can't be too hot. It has to be just right. So that's where we try to find that happy medium.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you're the first or only franchise that's Black owned and operated
in Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin, yeah.
In Wisconsin, correct.
I saw it. Now, has Culvers expanded to Florida?
Culvers is in Florida.
Yes, it is in Florida. I say that because my wife's folks are from Miami, and we were just down in Miami in May, and I go, "There's a Culvers." So they have really, their footprint is really expanding nationwide.
Yeah, Texas, Arizona, just peaked into Georgia, North Carolina.
Okay,
it was pretty. It's flowing. It's flowing pretty quick. It's a great franchise to be a part of.
So what do you think makes it so attractive that not only the people want to get the franchises, but your customers come? What when you say Culvers, what is that restaurant experience for the customers?
That restaurant experience for the customers, coming to a great place, being greeted, getting great food, and just the product as a whole. We're really big on hospitality, so people feeling like more of a guest versus feeling like a customer. A lot of times when people hear a customer, they hear just a money transaction.
Mm-hmm.
But when you hear a guest, it's somebody come to your house or your home, you make sure that the pillows are right. If they're staying with you, you make sure the room is right. Make sure they have hot food. Make sure if they need anything, you check in on them. So that's that. I think that's the difference between other franchises and Culvers as a restaurant, and also just the support from the community. Culvers is really big on being a part of the community with the schools, with giving back to the community, and just really hiring from the community. So and that's one thing we take pride of, because we understand our employees, everyone's going through something, but we have a very special demographic with our employees because, we have to be mentors. We have to be big brothers. We have to be big sisters at some time, so we have to be there. It's almost a family. So if a customer comes in and they feel that, then they feel part of the family.
I was looking at your revenues.
Yes.
Culvers, and it's like $3.5 billion a year. It's doing very well.
Yes.
And you think about something that started, basically in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin.
Exactly.
Able to have the imprint that it's had in terms of the different franchises. So in terms of where you are in Midtown, what are some of the things you all do there? specifically that you think supports or benefits that community besides giving us great food?
We work with schools in providing school lunches. What we've started, so COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of things, and it took a while to kind of kick it back up with doing school nights or share nights. That's where, let's say, from 4 to 7, 5 to 8, whatever the organization or school is, they'll have the floor. They can run bags, they can wipe tables, they can pass out information about their organization or their school, just to let customers, kind of build their awareness from their brand from a marketing standpoint. And we give, 10%, sometimes a little more of whatever it is in that time frame that they make and match it. And, just to be part of that. We've started to go to basketball games and want to get more involved with the basketball games because in Milwaukee, basketball is a big thing. It brings a lot of people together. And also hiring, hiring from the local schools. Because like I said, our community needs businesses to be a part of the community. And that's one thing that our alderman, Mark Chambers, great guy, that he really pushes. If you're going to be in the community, then you have to benefit the community.
It's amazing you were talking about hiring from schools, and many people got their start in fast foods, primarily McDonald's. Obviously, the young lady who's running for president, is part of her advertising now, says she worked at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
But it was. So what are the benefits from a young person coming working at a Culvers in terms of building up job skills that they can use later?
So you come in contact with customers. I think the world has transitioned from the younger people being so, how can I say it? Everything being in reach for them. It's easier to start a business for a young person than it was 10, 20 years ago.
Right.
So I think the customer service standpoint, dealing with customers and learning how to interact with them from a social standpoint. Also, conflict resolution. If a customer comes in and they have something wrong with their order, the employee, trying to talk through whatever the situation is to figure out a solution. Learning teamwork to build and work with the team and reach a attainable goal together. Also, just like I was saying with that mentorship. So we don't just want the employee to come and work. We don't look at our employees as just being numbers. We look at them as being an investment within the organization. So we want them to strive. A lot of companies don't want you to leave and want you to take those next steps up, but we want to teach our employees every aspect of the business to understand the business. Therefore, they can be a better product for us when offering it to other customers that are coming in and come through drive-thru.
Y'all still doing the crinkle fries?
Yes.
Now, for some folks out there, that may or may not be a thing. But in my mind, that is a thing when you go to if it's a custard stand or if you're going to anything like Culvers.
Yes.
I appreciate like the crinkle fries. I mean, it's a great treat. You guys do fish fry?
Yes.
Which is kind of, especially in Wisconsin. I don't think a lot of people know if you live in Wisconsin, one of our staples is fish fry.
Yes, fish.
And fish, yeah. And a lot of that had to do with Catholics and not being able to eat meat on Fridays. And so fish became the alternative. I think the story behind the fish fillet was there was a franchisee for McDonald's in Cincinnati, which is a big Catholic city. And so during Lent, they came up with the fish sandwich, and it turned out to be really popular. And they ended up leaving it on. They took it off for a few years, but they brought it back. But what I'm saying is that your environment creates taste. Like if you go to Europe, there was stuff that I didn't realize that McDonald's was doing in Paris. It's it had something to do with some type of sauce that they use.
Yep.
And
it's popular in Paris.
Right. But they wouldn't be any place else.
It wouldn't be anywhere else.
And they jokingly said they're going to take it off the menu because it had something to do with Steph Curry and how he had just killed the French in that gold medal game. So they was just like but no, I mean, I think little things like the custard, and then it's a simple menu, but it's a menu that's pretty widespread. You do pork.
Yep, we have a pork tenderloin.
You got a pork tenderloin,
like a veggie burger,
Reuben
sandwich.
The burger. I don't know if you're a burger guy, but I don't understand veggie burgers and bean burgers.
Really?
Yeah, you like them?
I mean, they're okay.
Yeah, I to me, if it's a burger, I'm looking for meat, and maybe I'm wrong for that. But there are people, man, they love what is it now? They call it it's not vegan. What's the word for it that they're using now? For it's not meat. They use it for something else. But I think that's real. But I think the fact that how much, in terms of, about the history, has that menu changed other than the fried chicken being removed? It has pretty much stayed the same, right?
No, that's one of those things. It was about 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
Took a practice for organizational renewal.
Okay.
That's, taking things back to the basics
of
what made the business. Because we had hot dogs, we had a steak sandwich, we had what else we had?
Wasn't there a roast beef or something?
We still have the roast beef sandwich.
Roast beef. Okay.
Yep. So the menu pretty much changes based on the demand. It goes into that economics part of it, supply and demand, what the demand is for.
And let me just say, in terms of that Midtown location and how you're right in terms of neighborhood, my mom would take her grandkids.
Okay.
The Culvers. That was a big treat.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to take us to Culvers, and they would sit and eat. And she would then go through all the grandmother stuff that you have to endure to get the free meal.
Yes.
I'm listening, grandmother. So how soon can we eat this hamburger here? Because you still talking. But no, I mean that. And when I thought about that was her favorite Culvers.
Okay.
Yeah, that was her favorite Culvers right there, because she would take them up, and they were still in high school.
Okay.
And that was their time to go. And I don't know if they said, they tell the story how grandma took us to Culvers, but I think that whole family approach.
Yeah.
And let me say this, and you mentioned customer service. And obviously you're in business, so you understand the importance of that. But there are some businesses that just don't understand how their customer service is impacting their bottom line.
Correct. They don't understand it. It's an experience, like I was saying earlier. It's an experience. And post-COVID, sorry to bring it back up again, we really started paying attention to where we're spending our dollars at.
Right.
So if it's somewhere we're not feeling appreciated or not feeling wanted, or we're getting the vibe that the person doesn't want to be at work, I might not come back to this place. I'll probably go here.
There's another national franchise, which I won't mention, but they people just marvel at their customer service. And I think it can go a long way in terms of, because there are people out there who could probably have and I put in quotation, a better product in terms of that. But from a lot of people, it's how you made them feel.
Exactly.
When they walked into that, into that experience. If I'm mad about how I was treated, I don't care how good that burger is, it's not gonna be digested the same way as I was when you came in and made me feel like the most important person.
Correct.
In that space. And it's amazing to me that there are people out there who figure that customer service is just not that important, but you're in the business, and one thing you want to do is always make sure your customers come back.
Have to. That's one of the biggest things. If they don't come back, bills don't get paid.
Right. Or word of mouth, in terms of, I like going to that Culvers. Why what is Culvers? No, man, because you go into that Culvers, you feel like, and you watch it. And again, I've had the chance to see the customer service there. Now that's, and I see when you go to the Culvers website, hospitality is one of the things that they talk about. Now, again, most people say that's a no-brainer. No,
it's not a no-brainer.
It's not a no-brainer. There's far too many people out there who, and I didn't do restaurants, but I was still in public service, and I just know how you treat people goes a long way in terms of, one, your bottom line, to people getting out advertising you because of the experience that they had. I mean, because there are other places that are serving custard and burgers
that they could choose.
And I think, and even when we talk about black businesses, maybe 30 years ago, that's the case, but people, they have alternatives.
A lot of alternatives.
A lot of alternatives, certainly more than just 10 years ago. And now we have DoorDash and Uber. One of the interesting things you talked about COVID was there were a lot of restaurants that didn't like carryouts. They hated carryout. I don't want to do carryout. You come in and you sit there's no carryout. Then COVID hit. Now all of a sudden, how we gonna move this food? So then carryouts became big, but then we saw the growth of Uber and DoorDash in terms of people being able to do it. Is it still a great experience to come to Culvers and sit and eat with your family?
It's still a great experience. Ours has grown over the past year or two post-COVID.
Okay.
We haven't always been let's go sit down and have Culvers as a family.
Okay.
It's been more so we have a lot of like business meetings. We have a lot of teenagers that come in a pack. So it's things like that.
They come in a pack. That's how we travel. It was a pack. Yeah, I mean, because that was, if you have a little money, what you going, man, let's go to Culvers.
Let's go to Culvers.
And I love watching teenagers try to figure it out, right? With limited resources. They try to figure it out. Like, what
They're
you
in a
got?
little circle.
Yeah, what you got?
Scrap up all the money.
Yeah.
And that's when they'll come up, hey, man.
Hey, we did the same thing, man.
Yep.
I mean, it was just like we coming in, and I guess that song when it's talking about weed. I got 5 on it. You come together and figure out what you gonna do to make this thing happen, man. Like you, but I think even for younger folks when they come in, a safe space.
Yes.
Where they're going to be, man. What's the way forward for you right now? You said you've been doing this about a year. What are you kind of looking forward to doing there at that franchise there, Culvers?
Looking forward to being more active within the community with partnerships. As I was saying earlier, with post-COVID happening, and then, people feeling comfortable, meeting up, because a lot of Culvers businesses with elderly people. So getting them back, feeling comfortable, sitting down, making sure that, they see a clean environment, they see someone cleaning, just so that they have that comfort of being there, So being more active within the community, and also the restaurants around us, want to take training up a little more, because I believe that it's not just training people within our 4 walls, it's also training them outside. Partnering with the banks, having them come in, speak with our managers, speak with our adults about credit, about, just building Roth accounts or whatever the case is, putting that money up so it can be going towards something. I don't want any employees working and not working towards something, whether it's a promotion, whether it's advancement, whether it's going in on another store, or even whether it's retiring, retiring to actually have that cushion. So.
Mr.
Jezreel
Jones. He's the owner, proud operator of Culvers. Can I say Culvers Midtown?
Yes, sir.
And it's located at, where's the address? It's 5501 West Fond du Lac Avenue. It's open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. I can't remember they're open that late. I was looking for someplace Friday night.
You know where to go.
I know now.
We on DoorDash and Uber too.
DoorDash.
So feel free.
DoorDash and Uber. Well, I'm talking off air a little bit about DoorDash and Uber. Appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you guys.
Sounds like you're going to be a presence here with us.
Yes, sir. Look forward to, future relationships.
Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Right. You listen to Community Voice. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
you know, it's just about lunchtime. You came empty-handed, man. I mean, you could have brought something.
I'm sorry, I done come from the store.
Well, you could have stopped by there.
I could have stopped by.
Yeah, but they.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
We can make it happen.
You got Carmen P coming over. No, we were just talking, and so I think I'm gonna start calling this Debo the chill section. After I have a very serious interview, we can sit here and just chill and chat, chat. So we was talking movies, and all right, so here we go. You said you've seen the last installment of Aliens.
Yes.
How was it?
I give it an 8 out of 10.
What did you like about it?
I like the effects. Okay. I like the acting.
Okay.
And I like the plot.
Okay.
So it was good writing.
Okay.
It was some good writing.
All right. Denise Crumble, I don't know if you're listening. Here's the next movie, Coming to America. What did you think of that one? Give me a rating on that one.
Like a 6 out of 10.
That's still pretty hot. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be neutral.
It's a little bit above average. It's only a little bit above average.
Little above average?
Yeah. 5 is average. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's another one that we came up, and people who listen know I had these pet peeves about sequels and remakes. House Party.
House Party 2?
No, this is just House Party, because you had House Party 1 and 2, the originals, right? And 3. This is the new House Party.
Oh, with Jacob Lattimore?
Yeah, local guy.
It was pretty. It was entertaining, but it was
entertaining.
It was just forced comedy. Yeah,
it was tough to watch, man. I mean, it did, and then but then LeBron struggled when he did Space Jams as opposed to when Mike did Space Jam, right?
Yeah, it was.
He was good though. LeBron was good in Trainwreck. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty.
For his few lines that he had.
That's what you do. You got to limit.
Come in, boom, boom, and get out.
Get out. These guys are not Shakespearean trained actors where you come in and you get some folks out there. And look, acting is difficult. For me to sit up and act like it's easy, it's really, really not. There's a thing they're doing. I think it's on MGM on Black Hollywood.
Okay.
And last night was the 3rd installment, and they were talking about. First of all, they talked about just how gifted Denzel Washington was. And one of the critics had pointed out, he said that, a lot of people thought Denzel Washington should have won the Academy Award for Malcolm X. He said, but think about this. He was too short. He was too dark. Yet by the end of that movie, he said Denzel was Malcolm X.
Correct.
That when you just can suspend that Malcolm was a 6'4", what we call red black man, and you have this brown skinned brother who was shorter, right? I know when I get to heaven, I'm thinking I might walk up to Malcolm, go, "You ain't Malcolm," and say, "Denzel, that's Malcolm."
Right.
But be able to play that, I mean, it just showed, man, it was incredible, and it's hard doing biopics where you play folks and be able to really capture them.
Yep.
But that just says something about the genius of Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah. Caller, welcome to the program. Okay. All right. Let's see. So you saw Aliens remake. So if you had, and I know this is always a real difficult question. This is just your fun. I could just watch it over and over and over again. What would be your top 5? It don't have to be the favorite, but just 5 movies that you could just watch over and over and over again.
Well, my favorite movie is The Matrix.
Okay.
The original Matrix. It's my favorite movie.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes,
man.
Mr. Anderson. Law Abiding Citizen.
That was a good one.
Another good one.
That was a good one. Okay. I mean, if it comes up on cable, you watch some of it, or you say, "Hey, man, I want to."
I like all of the John Wick movies.
That dude.
I can watch those.
But what about the Bourne series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I like the first 2, but after that, it got kind of. cringy for me.
So let me ask you two guys a question. What's the best piece of acting you've ever seen? Hands down, in your opinion, the best acting you've ever seen where you just totally lost yourself in that character as far as the fact that he was acting, that you really thought it was him.
Anything Meryl Streep did.
Or hers.
No, I'm serious. Anything Meryl Streep does, I mean, there's a reason why she got all those statues.
I would say Jamie Foxx and Ray. Because to see Ray,
that's another one.
As what's his name? Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
To see Ray Charles, watch a video or a documentary on him, and then see Jamie Foxx play him, it's like nah, that's like you were saying with Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
That's Ray Charles right there. I don't know who that dude is.
Yeah.
He
was good in as Bundini Brown in Ali.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, he got nominated for Academy Award for that, didn't he?
That guy, he's a great
Jamie
actor.
Foxx is, I mean, I have not seen anything. There's a movie called The Burial, which is about this attorney from Florida, Willie Gary. Okay. Willie Gary was the guy who sued Disney and won. I mean, and so they had this whole thing with it's a white funeral home owner who's in financial difficulties, and I didn't realize this, that you have national chains. A lot of these funeral homes you think are independent or not, they're owned by national chains, right? This guy's out of Canada. So long story short, how they were able to get this $600 million judgment against this funeral home chain. And man, I've never met Willie Gary, but Jamie Foxx, man,
played the role.
He played the role. Who else would be? And again, I say anything that Meryl Streep does. I think, and I could put Denzel. I dare not. Denzel has not had a whole lot of bad roles.
Correct.
What you got, Carmen?
I didn't see that one.
He looked like him. Okay. So the guy who played Bob Marley, and they showed a picture of him and Bob Marley's son, is it Ziggy? Who's the one that came out as a performer? Because he had one son who played football at Miami, and he has another son that was a musician. Okay. I would say, because she's going to cry, I'm going to say Viola Davis. I'm going to say Viola, just the ability to.
Which movie?
Oh, man, name it.
Wasn't she in The Help?
Oh, yeah, she's in The Help.
She was in a Denzel movie, right? Fences.
She was in Fences. She played James Brown's mama. And what was the name of Say It Loud, the James Brown
Say It
movie?
Loud.
Yeah, she played his mama.
And was it Woman King? Is that what it was?
She's Woman King. Yep.
Was she in Numbers?
Which one?
Wasn't that Numbers? What was the name of the ladies that worked for NASA?
No.
She wasn't one of them.
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures, yeah.
No, that was another great actress. She won an Academy Award.
Taraji P.
No.
Taraji was
the other
too,
one,
though, wasn't she?
For The Help. What's her name? Beautiful, big eyes.
I've never seen The Help.
You never seen The Help?
I'm gonna have to watch it. And The Burial. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Now, and I'm gonna go way back here. I'm probably gonna lose you, Mr. Jones. Cicely Tyson and Miss Jane Pittman.
Oh yeah,
was probably the best piece of acting I ever saw.
Because she was one of the people where they actually aged her.
Yeah,
and she was able to play her from young adult all the way to, she was over like 100 years old, right? When she ended up, The whole premise was this whole idea of desegregation in the South and her struggle, but it talked about, because she was born in slavery, wasn't she?
Miss Jane Pittman?
Yeah.
I'm certain she was.
Yeah, she was born in slavery, so to be able to do that. What's Cicely Tyson? I'm going to give you somebody else. I'm going to give you, and he's strong in what he does, Lawrence Fishburne III.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lawrence is good.
Oh, yeah. What's Love got to do with it?
Oh, man, that's Ike Turner.
I thought he was,
Yeah, that's Ike Turner. That's Ike Turner.
Sidney Poitier was another one.
Yes. Sidney Poitier is.
Right, he up there.
That's Mount Rushmore.
Right, he on the wall.
He on the wall, man. We got to do this every time we say his name.
He kicked it off.
Right, there'd be some angelic folks out there. But yeah, well, Sydney, and the amazing thing is the year that Halle Berry won the Academy Award for, what was the movie?
Not Monster Ball, is it?
Monster Ball, yeah. And then Denzel Washington won for Training Day that year.
Okay.
Yeah, and he got a special Oscar. And they showed Denzel's acceptance speech. He's going like, dude, I've been chasing Sydney. And say, I won the Academy Award, and Sydney get one to say that. He said, I'm still chasing Sydney. Yeah, but I mean, that guy, there's certain people out there who, you just know, again, that there is just incredible actors. Yeah, I'd like to say, because he's doing a lot of good work on television now. The guy with the bad eye,
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah,
he's
good too.
Yeah, he's another one who, because he played Idi Amin, didn't he?
I don't recall.
Yeah, he played Idi Amin, and Kerry Washington was in that movie. It was The Last Scotsman, Last King of Scotland. And that was, and then he's also doing. I don't know if they're done now. Godfather Harlan.
That's a good show.
That's excellent, man. That dude playing Malcolm X.
Yeah,
he's good. Carla, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I kind of tuned in a little late, but did I hear Morgan Freeman?
I did not. How could I not mention the voice of God?
Thank you.
Joe Clark.
Joe Clark.
Yeah.
Redemption.
He played that role.
$1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby. Yeah. Yeah,
you know what? With the horse, and Clint Eastwood was in that too.
No, $1 Million Baby
that was $1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby was the boxer.
Right.
They got paralyzed.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, that's Clint Eastwood.
Uh-huh.
Who, you know what? And as awful as his politics are, Clint Eastwood does great movies.
Yeah, he does great movies.
I mean, he does great movies. Somebody they were coming up with, I was pulling up the 15 most memorable moments at a convention. He came up. People know he's famously known in 2012 for the empty chair. And he was said Obama is an empty chair. It fell flat. But then I'm thinking that's why you should do movies, and you probably don't want to be in politics.
Exactly.
Right.
Stick to the movies.
Right. Stay in your lane. Thank you for. I don't know how I could sit up and forget. I mean, he was great in Shawshank Redemption.
All-time favorite.
What was the one he did where he was the detective?
With Angelina Jolie. Is it that movie?
Yeah, no, it was something. The spider. They were
Long Came the Spider.
Yeah, looking for the lost girl.
Yep.
Because then Tyler Perry ended up playing that role.
Yeah. Cross.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And the actress. Let's not forget Alfre Woodard. She's done a lot.
Yeah.
What is he playing?
Alfre Woodard.
She didn't get her flowers.
Well, I think some of the roles she played. Who played though? We were just talking about Lawrence Fishburne, and I cannot think of the actress's name. Angela Bassett.
Oh yeah.
I was telling Rhonda. I said Angela Bassett is always a triumphant black woman. Have you ever seen her in anything where she wasn't a triumphant black woman? Yeah. Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett looks good and everything, but
I'm gonna give you
roles have the same.
Grant, I don't know if you've seen this movie, and her politics is awful. Stacey Dash in House Arrest. Have you seen House Arrest?
I believe so.
I didn't realize how good an actress is. An awful movie, by the way. I didn't realize how good an actress she was until there's a scene where she's so frustrated with her life, she starts crying. but I mean, she cries. I
She
mean,
cries.
like these tears are flowing, and for an actor to be able to cry like that was impressive. Now
Yeah,
again,
that
she's a little
should be
crazy.
an Academy Award.
No, it was she, and she just and she was able to convey that, and that's what good acting is. You're able to convey that emotion, but to just watch these tears and these ones, because sometimes you gotta think about so I don't know who she was thinking about.
Right, she was thinking about
something that made her cry like that, man. But all right, dear, thank you.
All righty.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Just want to go back to Morgan Freeman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. I want to go back to Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
The Bucket List. That movie, I can watch it over and over.
You like Bucket List?
Yes.
Okay.
That was good. And I also like Color Purple.
Yeah, poor Danny Glover. Danny Glover never recovered being Mister. He never recovered.
They tried it with Lethal Weapon, but
you have black women to this day.
Another artist or actress who never recovered from their role. What's her name? Big girl.
From Precious?
Precious. Not her, but
Monique.
Well, Monique killed Monique.
Yeah. But trust me, after the accolades and everything she got for that role, people's perception of her changed. They said she played that role.
She played it too well.
No, she also had some things where she pissed some people off.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
I mean, people who could, and it's all about being real. If you can be real and still eat, knock it out. But I just heard Lee Daniels is just made up. I don't know if she's made up with Oprah yet.
I don't think she made up with Oprah.
Now, the great thing you should laugh, but I guess with all the pain you saw in Precious, two scenes that just
stealing that chicken.
Stealing that chicken and running on the street, eating that chicken out of the front. But you know how tragic it is? That girl's hungry, right? And she's booging and eating the chicken. The other thing was when Monique threw the TV at her, and then sit down and watch TV and realize I don't think Oh my God, that was incredible. Yeah, but watching her, because you just knew. I mean, that story is, and I don't know if they intended it for comic relief,
right?
But I needed it at that moment.
I needed that.
Because this was just like, and she's a big girl,
right? Yeah.
She's funny though in Tower Heist. I don't know if you've seen that with
I didn't.
with Ben Stiller and Eddie Murphy.
No, I haven't seen it.
And then she's good in doesn't she play?
She played in
Top 5.
Top 5, and she was on the TV show.
Power. Not Power. Empire.
Yeah. She was on Empire.
What'd you think of Empire?
I like the first couple seasons.
There you go. You just like everybody else.
But after that, it just went to the left.
Well, Power was able to do pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Power was able to do pretty
Power
well.
was able to do well.
I mean, they franchised that off. But yeah, the first, and again, Terrence Howard is another great actor.
Yes.
Terrence Howard's issue, and I'm just going on, is he's difficult to deal with. Yeah. So that's why he didn't do the second Iron Man. You get Don. Speaking of Don Cheadle.
Yeah. Hotel Rwanda.
Was it Talk to Me?
He passed away, didn't
he? No, he's still alive.
He's still alive. He just
Yeah. He
I don't know what y'all talking about, man.
Don Cheadle?
Who am I thinking about?
That's the dude from Iron Man, Don Cheadle.
Yeah, he did the second Iron Man.
He thinking about Chadwick Boseman, the guy that played Black Panther.
Yeah, the guy that played every black historical figure.
Right. Every singer.
He played James Brown. Did he play Thurgood? Little Richard? No, did he do Little Richard?
I thought he played Little Richard, did he?
Now Leon played Little Richard.
No, Leon. That's
Leon played Little
last
Richard.
Name?
I don't know what his last name
is.
is.
Leon.
But he played Little Richard. And that got to be tough, man, because if you're not gay and you play such a gay role, people are going to perceve you not that there's anything
Especially
wrong.
if you do good at it.
Yeah, the people going to perceive you as such. But Yeah, Don Cheadle. He is Mouse. He played Mouse in Devil in the Blue Dress with Denzel Washington, which is a great movie, by the way. That is a great movie. You're listening to Community Voice. Oh, we up out of here. Let me thank Mr. Jezreel Jones, the owner and operator of Culvers at 5501.
It's not as bad as Jarrell, ain't it?
Is that his middle name? I didn't. I've been killing this dude's name. Did you have a nickname coming up?
They call me Jay-Z.
Jay-Z?
Like a J and a Z, not Jay-Z. Yeah.
Could you rap?
Nah, I can't rap like him. No.
All right, man. Let me thank Michelle Debo. Thank you. Carvey, thank you. Jay-Z, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Good Lord, really don't rise. We're going to talk to you tomorrow. People going to be calling, dude, you had Jay-Z on? Yeah, man, that's my boy.
Yeah, Midtown Culvers.
Yeah, like Midtown Culvers Jay-Z is just like we talk about Antonio Freeman. My guy go, oh, not that Antonio Freeman, my cousin.
Antonio Freeman.
Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. As always, go for this place of peace.
(2024) is the year of the entrepreneur. If you've set strong goals for your business that includes scaling up or securing office space, we want to talk to you. The Keon T.